Hey, YouTube nomads, how y'all doing? So we're on to episode 2 of the mod building series. What we're going to accomplish in this episode right here is we're going to get ready to build our mod. Now that's going to entail a couple of things. One, I'm going to show you a site where you can order some parts to build your box, right? It's not going to be all inclusive, but well, it will be for the actual parts, but there's going to be things you need outside of that. So I'm going to show you a website that you can order your parts. Website that I know, I love these people, have been great to me. Drip 3D, take you there in just a second. We'll check some stuff out. Number two, we're gonna go to a local parts store and just pick up some stuff off the shelf to build mods with. Talking about our tools and everything. We're talking about our work area, how to set it up. We're also during this episode going to get into something that I think is fundamentally important and somewhat overlooked by some mod builders, especially I'm not talking about professional. I can't think anybody comes to mind that doesn't do this, not that, but a lot of do-it-yourselfers start off wanting to build a box mod and they don't get some of just very basic things right, and that's what can be the difference between like a really great box mod you're really proud of or something you really don't want to take the back door off of because you don't want your friends to see it. So that's what we're going to talk about, is making really nice solder joints. But what I want to do right now, the first part of this video, I'm going to take you over to Drip 3D's website. I'm going to show you what you need for the box mod that we're going to build in episode 3. So I'm going to order my parts as well, or just pull them off the shelf here. But I'm going to show you where to order them, parts just identical to what I'm going to use. Now, you don't have to use these identical parts, okay? You don't have to order them off this website. In fact, you can order basically the same parts off another website if you like. Whoever want to do business with it, doesn't matter to me. I'll tell you though, I support Drip 3D. They've been great to us. They're great people. Really like them over there. I'll say it again. In the future, based on a comment that was left on one of my last videos, we may actually do a DIY kit for, assembled just for this series, where you can go just one click on Drip 3D, or maybe it'll be in. Not sure how we're gonna do that. Yeah, just talk to them today and get just the whole kit sent to you in one click and follow this video and build it. Having said that, I haven't done that yet, so it's not ready for this video. So I'm gonna take you, show you everything to buy. In the meantime, while you're waiting on your parts to get here, watch the rest of this video and get everything set up and ready to build your box mod, which we'll actually be building in episode 3. But this is going to get you ready, have everything at your disposal when we do episode 3. So I'll tell you what, click over here, show you everything you need to order from Drip 3D or whatever website you prefer to do business with. Okay, so like I say, this is Drip, DRIPP 3D.com. We're just going to go down here to do-it-yourself parts. Let's pick out an enclosure real quick. For the purpose of this build anyway, and what I'm going to actually be using here, and what I think is really nice and convenient, is a G-size box, an original G-size box. Not like the G Plus or anything maybe you're accustomed to nowadays, but the G is a smaller, about think Hexon. Okay, original Hexon box was G size, really nice little size, but you still have room to build in. So let's click on this. You can pick whatever color you want. I like the light green. It's kind of one that I always kind of gravitate towards. I'll show you just a second what the light green looks like. I'll tell you what, let's do blue for this one on a battery sled. And then episode 3, we're going to build a series box. You don't have to do that, but if you're going to do a parallel box, you're going to need to add a fuse to have some protection, or be careful when putting your batteries in. But I'm going to step down here and make sure you can get a dual series 18650 sled. And y'all know me by now, I like to pretty much keep things simple, and I'm going to do all black internals on this. Not really worried about a sled cover. I'm not into that. I'd like people to be able to see my wiring. Feel free to get one if you want it, but we're not going to cover that here. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So they carry Vertube V2s. Vertube V2 is excellent 510. In fact, it's what I use in my box mods I actually make here to sell. I'm going to go with a stainless 22 millimeter smooth top. Now you select whatever you want. If you don't order the ones that say smooth right here, you're going to get one that's got like a set of crosshairs in it. What used to be used for like windage holes for atomizers that had intakes on the bottom. We don't really have that anymore, so not really an issue. All these switches now, let's see. they have a switch on here? Yeah, they do. Good deal. We can order a MyTech 1201 right here, and that's what we want to get for this box. The 1201 is going to be a stainless steel 12 millimeter switch. One of the best switches out there. And be honest with you, I stopped using MyTech for a little while because their quality went to shit. But here lately, they've kind of got their shit back together, and the switches I've been getting in recently have been back to the quality that MyTech was giving us about a year ago. So I've been happy with that. And right down here, we'll go ahead and get our magnets. You know what? If you want to include and install on there, but I'm telling you, I would rather see you just have them include the magnets and you put them in yourself. You really, learning how to do these little things can go a long way. So if you're really watching this to learn how to build, just put include the magnets, okay? So we're up to $32.50. Nobody's getting killed here. We do need a couple of little things. So let's put this in our cart real quick. Oh, well, the option selected for color is currently unavailable. Well, thank God I got one held back in here. Fuck it. You know what? I'm going with light green. Going with light green. Okay, so let's add that to our cart. Okay, click that down. Go back over to do-it-yourself parts again, or however you want to search for it. Components. We're going to need two things out of here. Let's scroll down here. We need a 15K resistor right here. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, when you get these resistors, go ahead and get a few of them. Hell, look, they're 25 cents a piece. Get 4 of the bastards, okay? That way, if you burn one up, clip a lead too short, you're not fucking worried about it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get 4 of those, and we're going to flip back over here and get probably one of the most important parts of this build, our MOSFET. Let me see. I guess I should have looked at this before because I don't know what MOSFETs they actually have in stock here. What are my components? Scroll down, see which. Oh, there we go. Which one is this? So this is a 3034 PV. Oh, and this is another thing. These are pretty cheap. Go ahead and grab 2 of them at least. This is a 3034 MOSFET. So if I'm not mistaken, this motherfucker's got some crazy high amp rating, like maybe 185 or 195 amps. Honestly, I don't think it would be good for that, but I'm pretty sure this MOSFET's rated that high. I have to look at that. Make it back to you on that. Anyway, so add that to cart. What are we up to so far? So we're up to $40 right now, okay? That's really all you need to get off of here, okay? Okay, we got out here, we got, let's see, light green, dual series black. We got our 510, we got our MyTech 1201, put include magnets but don't install them. We got a 15K resistor, and we got our N-channel MOSFET. We're fucking ready to go here. Okay, proceed to checkout, $40 on the head. Look, okay, let me flip back over here. Okay, like I was saying, you don't have to order everything off of Drip 3D. Look, not the important part here. You get whatever you want, wherever you want. If you want a different size box, if you want whatever, okay? The point of this is me showing you if I was you, where I would purchase from. So take it with a grain of salt. Get whatever, if you want like a different switch, if you want a different color sled, even if you want to do a parallel sled, you can do a parallel sled without fuse protection. You just got to be really careful when you put batteries in it. So let me say this, just be careful, pay attention to what I'm saying throughout here. So anyway, what else? I actually kind of shot this video in reverse because all the rest of the video you're going to see, I already shot. I got to compile it right now, but when we go to the parts store, there was one thing I kind of left out that I think is fairly important. If you're up to building your own mods, you probably already got like little tweezers and stuff. Those are handy. And then if you're at a parts store or hardware store, maybe you just got something laying around the house, grab some little clamps, something like this. Really, really helpful when you're working on things. Okay, so we just got our stuff set out in order. Of course, it's going to be a few days before you get that. You can do it today, whatever you want to do it, whatever. What we can do in the meantime, get our work area set up, get our place ready. So listen, when the parts come in, if you're like me, as soon as they're in the mail, you're going to want to get on it that night. And I do anyway, you have a tendency to be in a hurry about something. So you got a few days right now, depending on when you order. You may have 4 or 5 days if you order on a weekend. You got a lot of time between now and then to set everything up, get your work area just right, where you don't have to be off looking for anything. So when your parts get in, you can sit down and really start doing some value-added work. And I'm going to give you some practice tips so you can really start building your mod when it gets in. But anyway, check that out real quick. So let's get into setting our work area up. Now, any of you know me know that I've actually got a shop in town where I build mods. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to start off just like you. So, like I talked in episode number 1, you're going to need to find a place that's preferably out of the way. If you're going to do this inside your house, try to make it an area where nobody else is really going to bother. The main thing is you don't want any kids around, anybody that's going to get, turn soldering iron on by accident and burn the house down. So we'll start out here in the old trusty garage with a fold-out table. I usually leave crap all over. First things first, though, we need to get some stuff, right? We need to get soldering iron, we need to get some flux, we need to get some solder, we need a few little miscellaneous tools, maybe a couple of clamps. We'll go over all that. But first, right off the bat, let's start off, get us a nice, clean work area, and preferably a place we can sit down. Now, if you've got a higher bench you like to stand at, that's fine too. But I'm lazy. I like to sit down, so I make mine where I can sit in my chair working on mine. So I'll tell you what, let's clean up this mess right here, and I'll be right back. Okay, took a few minutes. Got the table cleaned off. As you're going to see, this is not exactly a $100,000 setup. There she is. A little table, a little chair. So this is where everything's going to be made from. Well, not everything. This is where the series is pretty much going to be shot from, though. So let's dive down on the table. We'll talk about some stuff. Okay, well, something happened there. I got like, I don't know, a minute worth of video that you're going to miss where it's sitting down on the table. Who knows what I did? Probably didn't record. Anyway, what I was talking about in that one is this. What we're going to go to the store and get is soldering iron, solder, flux, some wire. We're going to talk about all that when we go to the store. Make a list if you want to make it as we go along. But in this next little segment, I'm going to run up to the shop, grab Yo, because I can't hold the video camera on myself. I only got arms so long. Anyway, let's check that out right now. Okay, just came up here to the store to get Scott. Let's call this bonus footage. Okay, Scotty boy's done up front. Let's go see if we can get him on this voyage to AutoZone trip. What's up, peoples?
Yo, what?
Yo. I need to borrow your boyfriend there, Miss Ling Ling.
What? No.
You can't come check on us in the office.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, let's look around.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Hey, Scott, I need you to take me AutoZone videotaping us get some parts for my building series.
He actually he told me this earlier. Yeah.
Make him do it, Lisa. Get on
Let's
to
go.
it.
Yes.
Punch him right in his face.
No.
Okay, let's do this, dude.
Going to AutoZone?
Go into AutoZone. Get in the zone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Also,
See, Brian's nomad.
okay, we had to come to O'Reilly's because AutoZone didn't have them damn soldering irons. Believe that shit? Anyway, so check this out. I'm going to grab a few things from here. I already gave you a list of what you needed to get from here, but you grab this pretty cheap soldering iron, $7.99. It's a 30-watt soldering iron. This will do everything we got to do. We're not going to do huge wires or anything. Look, you can get a better soldering iron, but this will work for everything we're going to do. I'm looking for some 16-gauge wire. For me, I prefer to use black. Feel free to use whatever color you want. You can get as carried away as you want to, okay? So, doesn't have a very heavy jacket on it. You know what? Just because of the jacket size on a 16, this is what I'm saying. Get at least 16, but if you want to get a little bit larger, it's fine. There's a 14 right there. It's like $6.99 a roll. 20 feet of this shit's enough to wire up. I don't even know how many boxes. A retarded amount. Anyway, you need plenty of wire. Like I say, I'm going to use all black. You can use whatever color you want, whatever kind of insulation you want. The next thing I'm going to do is grab some shrink wrap, which these little kits like this right here are always handy. It's got a bunch of different sizes on them. They're cut pretty short like what we'll be using. Grab one of these right here. And what else we need, Scott? We need epoxy. We have to go to another aisle to get that. Like I said, I don't like using super glue. I like using epoxy. Try to get 5 minutes, 30 minutes, never go set up. And if you get that instant shit, I guarantee you, you're gonna fuck up. Get 5 minute epoxy. If you get it 2 parts, great. If you want to use super glue for like maggot shit, that's fine. We're still gonna need some epoxy to like put in sleds and everything, and do some of the trim work we're gonna do. So over here, now this is a
Start again.
You're killing me. Okay.
Take two.
Thought they didn't have any solder flux, but they do. Boy Alex here at O'Reilly's hooked us up. So we got our solder. All you need is a small roll, not using a whole lot of it, and some kind of soldering paste. We'll talk about that. Appreciate you, Alex.
No problem.
Okay, back to the house. Been to the parts store, actually 2 parts stores. I was on to have soldering iron, like we talked about. Anyway, got some good help from Alex at O'Reilly's. What we're about to do, I'm going to flip the camera down, get everything out real quick. I'll kind of zoom through that shit. You don't need to know how to unpackage the soldering iron and wire and everything. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to talk about how to make good solder connections. Now we're going to start building a mod. We're going to talk about how to make good solder connections. So we move on to building our box. We won't have to recover this. So anyway, first thing I'm going to do is get that piece of leather I was talking about. Okay, here's another sub note. That piece of leather I was talking about was from the clip I said I missed earlier. What I was saying is, when you get your work table cleaned off and everything, get ready to start, find like a piece of leather, vinyl, even a thick piece of canvas or fabric to lay down on your table, because any hard surface, you're going to get stuff on it and you're going to end up scratching up the mod you're working on. It's not imperative right now because you're not actually got your finished product laying on a table, but I always like to just start off doing the right thing. So if you got a piece of leather, vinyl, whatever, leather's best to me because you can kind of, it's a lot more forgiving, right? You can get it hot, it's not going to catch on fire or whatever. But whatever, even a build mat will work, but be aware if you use a build mat, you probably get little burn holes in it, it's going to be kind of stanky. Anyway, that's what I was talking about. Layout here, we don't necessarily need it right now, but I like to have it down, just so we go ahead and build a fundamental basis that we're always going to have something to protect whatever we got on our work surface, which will eventually be our mod, maybe some regulated boards in the future. It's very important. Well, I'll tell you about this in a second. Okay, like I was just telling you, go ahead and lay us out on a piece of leather. Now, what I used to do when I first started building mods, I would actually like epoxy this down on the table so it wouldn't move, but I learned over time that this stuff does get burned and wears out. It's easier if you just leave it loose, pull it off. So if you want to tack it down with some epoxy or something on the corners, that's fine. But just be aware that it will wear out. Probably not for you because, let's face it, we're not going to build 30, 40 mods a day on this as a do-it-yourself deal. But anyway, let's get our stuff out of the package here. We got our epoxy. We're not going to need that right now, so we're just going to set it to the side. We do have some shrink wrap. Once again, we're not going to need that right now. Put that to the side. We got that. Okay, wire strippers. We do need this. We do need some wire for right now. If you got some old wire laying around, just little pieces of wire, maybe handy to have those out. We got our solder. I'll talk about that in just a second. We have got some soldering paste flux, and like I say, for the purpose of this, for unregulated mod, really not important what kind of paste you use right now. If we get into some regulated mods later, I'll discuss why using the right paste is very important. But for right now, whatever kind of paste you got will work just fine. Not a huge deal. Okay, everything's unwrapped. If you got your soldering iron out, you can take these little bread ties off of here. But anyway, so you got your soldering iron out. If your soldering iron doesn't reach your table without, if the cord's a little tight or whatever, make sure you get an extension cord. You want this thing to be really free to move wherever you want to put it at, and not be in your way. And then most cheap soldering irons can come with a little stand like this. You bend up, put your soldering iron in, throw that shit away. It's fucking worthless. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to mess with it. Then, like I said, we've got our solder here. Now, if you go to a parts store that has a good selection of solder, get the smaller one. I'd prefer the smaller one. However, I'm going to show you how you can make the big one work just fine. Because we're not actually going to take the solder dab it on there. I'll show you all that in just a second. And then, like I said, I don't know why they put these little clear things in here. But anyway, it's flux here. Just leave it in the can. Usually I just leave it set and open. I'll say, now for the purpose of this, if you're watching this for any reason to learn how to solder, make sure if you're going to use any kind of flux on a regulated board, make sure you get no clean flux. Do not use water-soluble flux on a regulated mod. Cause you some real issues later when juice and everything gets on there. It causes a lot of electrolysis. Take it from somebody that's been down that road, and then we've of course got some 14 gauge wire here. 14 is going to be plenty big enough for our little project. As far as making, we're going to be preferably well under 40 amps. So 14 is going to be great. They generally use 16. I will say this wire that you get at the parts store is going to be a little stiff. It doesn't have as many strands counts as some of the better wire. If you want to get some good wire to just start off with, go on Amazon and get some Dean's Ultra wire. I prefer 16 gauge, but the shit is phenomenal. The jacketing doesn't melt on it. You're going to see when we solder this a little bit, this will have a tendency to melt the jacket a little bit, but this is what you're going to find at the parts store most of the time, so what we're going to use for this project. So let me plug my soldering iron up. I'll get right back with you, and we'll talk about actually making the right kind of solder joints on a piece of wire. And just while I'm letting my soldering iron heat up for a minute, this episode is brought to you by Mississippi from Vaporized Nomads. And I'll tell you what, if you're building mods, you want to make sure you got some of this juice on hand. Make sure you got a decent mod, even if it's one of the ones you built, and a nice atomizer, but especially that deep, rich, vanilla, buttery custard known as Mississippi. Never miss a chance to get an advertisement. Okay, I've let my soldering iron get hot, and now I'm going to show you, just do this real quick. Got a new soldering iron, even if you got an old one, it's just dirty. What you can do is this right here. Take the soldering iron. I always just like to dip it in whatever kind of flux I got. Get a little solder on it. When you see the solder is actually flowing onto the tip, which it kind of is, get a little much on there, just knock that off, and then something you're going to keep by you. Either one of two things, like a piece of kind of like copper or brass steel wool, or something easy to do. See, I just got like a Tupperware pan here with a paper towel folded up in it, and it's completely saturated in water. It just keeps your tip nice and clean. If you ever see a mod or any kind of electronic solder joint that's got a lot of like black shit on or pitting, probably somebody using a dirty solder iron, to be honest with you, or maybe they weren't using good flux, who fucking knows. But if you want that tip to stay just really nice and clean, always keep your, I'll say, either some copper, brass, or stainless steel wool by, like in a little container, or just something like this, paper towel with some water on it. It works fantastically. It works just as good as the like copper or stainless steel wool does, but it won't last as long, obviously. But hell, this will work just fine. Anyway, so what I've done here, like I said, I'll ever use a little stand. Be sure you place your solder iron out of the way where you're not grabbing, you know, at it, around it. But anyway, okay. So let's talk about, a lot of times I'll see people, I'm going to strip a little bit of this wire on, I'm going to keep talking. Sometimes, not a lot of times, sometimes I'll see people, they get ready to solder something, they'll strip their wire, like we're doing here, and they'll just go ahead and put that like in a box or something and try to solder that, you know, just put solder on the wire, try to solder it to whatever you're trying to solder it on, and it doesn't usually work very well, because one thing is you're trying to hold a lot of stuff, you're just clumsy like that. Number two is you hadn't already pre-soldered this. So I know this sounds like a very simple thing. A lot of you are going to think this is so simple and common sense, but this is something really important. I mean, these little things right here that I'm showing you right now makes the difference between like a great quality box and something that looks like you made it in junior high. So what I always like to do is twist the ends of my wire up really good, you know, and don't clip them off really long. Like this one's actually clipped a little long just for the purposes of this, and I'll show you more about this as we go through our mod build. We'll talk about how long your ends really need to be, you know, depending on what you're soldering to. And the first thing to do is, though, just go ahead and dip that wire in your paste. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to see that very well, but it's got paste running around that wire. Doesn't have to be like a big goopy shit on it. And then I always like just have my wire standing up like this, and what I'll do is just run that right down onto the wire. And you'll see it didn't take very long at all. And if we can get some focus here, as you can see, that didn't take very long, and that wire is completely covered in solder. And that's what you want. And if you'll notice right there, this kind of insulation on this wire is going to burn really easily. So if you're using something like this from the parts store, it's got kind of this plastic jacket on it that doesn't burn, it melts really easy. You're going to want to not hit it as long, okay? So make sure if everything's primed, ready, you got flux on it, you're going to have a clean little joint. So what does that do for us? So let me show you real quick. Let me clip another piece of wire off. And we'll do the same thing. We'll strip this one back. So make sure we twist our ends up tight, just like we did on the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and clean it. The old solder has kind of been sitting on the tip. I always like to clean it off, because what it'll do when you kind of use an old solder, it's been sitting there, it's been exposed to air for a while. Anything hot like that is going to oxidize, just like talk about rust, but it gets oxidation in it. And when you go to solder it, you don't get the cleanest looking solder. So here we go. Let's do this one. There's a nice Little clean solder joint, really nice. And like I say, every time I'm just going to wipe this off. Listen, we're not making 300 solder connections in this box, so take your time. You know, once we get to build our box, we're not making 300 solder connections, so take your time, clean off your tools, and make really nice, good-looking solder joints. Now, usually I would have a board here or something, but I'm just going to use this piece of leather. That's what's great about having a piece of leather. Now, if you were to just try to take these two pieces of wire and just not clean them, not do anything, and just lay them there and try to solder them together, it's going to take you a little while, and honestly, it's going to end up looking pretty goopy. So here's what I like to do. If you would maybe pretend this was inside of a box or something, this is a landing pad, you don't need a ton of flux. This flux goes a long ways, but just a little coating on it, and then what you'll do, little solder, if we can get it to stick, there we go. We'll hold these together, drop that on there. And what you're going to see is that's going to make a really nice, got kids out in the yard. Y'all bear with me here. These little kitties having fun. It's my brother and his kids. Anyway, live out in the country, always hooping and hollering. So let's clean that off, and I'm going to let y'all have a little bit of a look at how this particular solder joint came out. So if you see that solder joint right there, see how it's nice, taken all the way through both wires. That's a nice, clean joint. Could have been a little tighter, I'll admit that, but we're just laying on the table here. But what you want is that nice, clean, shiny solder that just looks really good, and it's penetrated all the way through both wires, and our jackets aren't melted. Had to have a vape break. Anyway, so what I just showed you is really how to solder things together, more or less. Now, like I say, I want to make sure that you really get what I'm saying here. This may seem like such a simple task right here of, say, soldering two pieces of wire, or a wire to a landing pad on a board, or a wire to a sled clip, to a battery clip. But little things like this, they make all the difference in the world. You know, a lot of you know Nikki Dotson. She's kind of like my right hand. She helps me build mods constantly. In fact, she's got her own mod out now called the Apprentice Mod. And it's a series, unregulated box. But, you know, Nikki did not solder inside of an actual mod for months. That I just had her doing things that are external to the box, like 510s, you know, pre-soldering switch wires, things like this. Because these things, it's not because Nikki doesn't learn fast. In fact, she's excellent. She's the only person that helped me on mods ever. But these things like this, the little things, how you solder things, how you prepare things, each and every time, this is what's going to make the difference in the quality of your work. Now, I'm not saying the box won't work if you don't do these things. The box will work fine. But be proud of what you build. You know, every time, you know, twist your wire, put your flux on, do everything right, clean off your soldering iron. Make sure you're efficient about it. And I'll be honest with you, the cleaner you are, the better you get at this, you're going to be more efficient at it. You're not going to run the risk of burning wires up, you know, when you're soldering on them. You're not going to burn sleds up when you're soldering on them. It just makes life so much easier when you really drill down and get these little key points just perfect. So I'll tell you what, if you've ordered your box, if you've done all that, until your parts get here to build something, in which mine gets here, we'll do episode 3. Practice on your solder. Get all your stuff set up and kind of sit at your table. Even, you know, it's therapeutic to me if you ask me. You know, even if you don't have anything to work on right now, come sit down at your table. Work on getting better at your soldering skills. Think about the placement of all the things on your table. Just take time to sit here and think. And, you know, the more thought you put into any product, the process of it, what you're actually building, the form factor of it, the way you go about it, the more thought you put into it, the more you mind engineer these things out and do these thought processes, you're just going to have a much easier time when it actually comes to doing that value-added work of building whatever kind of piece of equipment or doing anything in life. So, you know, take those minutes. Hell, take an hour. Sit around and think about what all you're going to do while you're kind of waiting on your parts, you know, and make sure you got a good plan. Make sure your area is clean. Make sure somewhere you're comfortable, right? You need to be comfortable when you're doing this. Make sure you don't have a lot going on. I mean, this needs, if you're watching this video, this needs to be a hobby for you. It needs to be something that's fun for you, something that you can learn and get better over time and start to develop your own techniques, designs, and the way you do things. You know, I'm going to show you a lot here, but There's so much more you can come up with that you can create. And I just want to make sure you got the right fundamentals to take that as far as you want to go with it. But anyway, really appreciate y'all watching. Like I say, episode 3 is going to be coming up. If y'all are watching this one, go ahead and order your parts. And we'll have, when mine come in, which, to be honest with you, I can just go grab mine off the shelf if I want to. So I may do it earlier than later, but get your parts in, and we're going to set back down. And hopefully, in the next video, we can have, I'm going to try to get a clip with Mooch and talk about some of the technical things, the nuances about our MOSFETs and resistors and how things work. Just really brief. I know Mooch is long-winded, but I'll try to get maybe a 2 or 3 minute clip of Mooch explaining some of the electronics of mod. And then we'll really start building some stuff, and we're going to, just like the soldering, we're going to look at how we do magnets, how we put our sleds together. We're going to make sure we got our basics right on the money. Then we're going to build a mod. You know what? If you don't get that first mod right, you build a second one. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to get all these fundamentals, what I would consider right, And guess what? If you do something that's not exactly like I do it, that's totally cool. You may find your own process, your own nuance to doing this. And that's the point of it. It's your hobby. Take it where you want to go with it. But anyway, look, I always appreciate y'all watching. If you really want to be in the clique, if you really want to be a part of the VN Mod Building Series, make sure you head over to msvaa.org. Become a member of Mississippi Vaping Advocacy Association. Support us. Help us out here in Mississippi. Look, guys, I really am enjoying the start of this series. I think it's going to be a great time. Y'all can help us out. Vaporized Nomads, as a company, y'all can help us out by just being a member of MSVAA and supporting that organization, putting your name in that hat and saying, I support vaping in Mississippi. I support the vape businesses in Mississippi. Look, if you're already a member, really appreciate your support. But hey, if you're watching this right now, you got a wife, you got somebody that vapes with you, get them to join. Reach out to some other people. But anyway, y'all have a good time. We'll see you back here soon, and we're going to start building. But y'all get your work area set up and get ready to go. We're going to have some fun, as I always say. Hey, peace out, Nomads.